Give it a second. There we go. Gonna post the link and we will start. Come on, you fucking thing.
I think you're
Wait a
live.
second. We are live. Hold on. So, Nick.
Yeah.
Privacy electronically and digitally. What were your
Well,
initial thoughts on like Apple versus FBI? How that? Do you know the full story?
well, I do and I don't. Obviously, you're never gonna know like what the communications between Apple and the government were. But
Right.
I mean, we're all entitled to our own privacy. In any media, electronic or not, right? You know, what you do behind closed doors I mean, is nobody's business, assuming it's not, well, extremely amoral and or inappropriate, right? Like,
Mm-hmm. As long as it's
obviously,
not gonna like inflict danger or pain on someone else, you know.
well, yeah, or in Jared Fogel's case, little kids,
And
stuff
what?
like. You remember the Subway guy?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that should not be allowed behind closed doors.
Well, no. If it's illegal, then well, I guess it's based on what. I guess illegal is kind of like this pragmatic term nowadays.
Yeah, well, whatever doesn't affect other people and create weird problems and or mental issues for children is probably important, I would
Right.
say.
That should definitely remain illegal.
Yeah, and should not be, held under that privacy veil, but people's data in general, I mean, that's private. It's nobody's business, including the
Yeah.
government.
Hmm. Right.
And
I believe
also,
that.
as a libertarian, as we previously discussed, I think if the government's going to be bestowed such weapons, I mean, people should be allowed the same.
Allowed the same capability, or
Yeah,
okay, yeah. Um, Obviously, it's the government, so they're not, definitely not willing to do that.
well, yeah, that's a control issue, right?
Yeah.
They're acting like parents, but really they're
Big
kind of
brother.
at the same
Fuck,
time. Not really
fucking.
big brother. I
Well,
would say more irresponsible
in,
than everybody else.
in the dark sense.
Yeah, more like the looming tyrant.
Yeah.
The
That's
more
what.
power they get, the more they consolidate and keep it away from people so that they can control. I'm
You're
not
you're
much
bre-
into
you're
conspiracy
uh
theories.
you're breaking up a bit there, Nick.
Am I? Am I?
Yeah. A little choppy.
Uh-oh.
Are you on your phone?
Yeah, I'm always on my
Okay.
phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were
Breaking.
you saying? It was pretty chopped up there.
Just, I mean, the government is a looming tyrant,
Hmm.
and if you give it too much power, obviously they're going to consolidate the power and they're going to use it against the people. You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
there
they
will
try
be
to.
good people in power, but that's not always the case.
Yeah. It's pretty rare
Yeah, good people are pretty rare.
in general. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then yeah, fucking insert and then into politics, just a big huge power grab all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Say Levy. Say Levy.
Till they come after us. Oh.
But I wouldn't go that far. I don't think many people are really target of it. I mean, maybe if we were in China, I've been hearing weird things about Hong Kong and literature, but who knows how much of that is true either. There's a lot of defamation going on with China, so
Yeah.
I try to take everything with a grain of salt.
Hmm.
But back to the whole Apple thing. If
Yeah.
it is what they say it is, it's like a master key to get into phones. I mean, I can almost assure you with Bill Gates' opinion and Windows 10 and the way they kind of released made it available to everybody that that's already happened on Windows devices. It's more of a who's running the company and who's what their position is. But I think personally, not being I try not to be a conspiracy theorist, but the way they released Windows 10 and made it available to everybody with older operating systems, it seems like that's already been subsidized by the government, and all of that's been pushed through so that anybody on the newer operating
Yeah,
system is just vulnerable to such attacks by the government.
I do. Yeah, that is conspiratorial, but I do believe that. Yeah, it was released free, and it's like it was on the phones. And did you also know about I think it was like 30% of business. It has to. It's like a big number, like 30% of all businesses in America are it's mandatory for them to upgrade to Windows 10. I think it was some
Yeah,
big number like that or something.
yeah, and I think that's just an easy way for the government to track everybody. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a quick way to swap.
But you know the whole well, I think the Apple thing wasn't it with that shooter in San Bernardino? They're trying to get into his phone.
Yeah, but the way it seems to be worded in that whole correspondence with the public is I think what the government wanted was essentially a release of the operating system
Uh-huh.
can be uploaded by air onto a phone,
Mhm.
basically by choosing of the government.
Yeah.
And it's uploaded to that phone, then the government has full access to it, which means they could selectively, they could find somebody's phone, whatever their ID is, and then be like, oh, hey, here's an update. And then they download the update, and then the government has full access to all the data on that device.
Yeah. I guess the argument and the debate upon it was like um because if it was true that terrorist that happened in San Bernardino, if we could access his information and um, try to like find other terrorist groups that are um, around or who he's been contacting, um, I kind of think that was a false flag though, because that's what they say they want to do, and then they
Sure, they
just want
have
and
access to
it's
all
just
of that.
huh.
I'm sure they already have access to all of that. I mean, phone records.
Yeah, I think they're trying to do something else though, and they're like I think it was a false flag so they could like get this utility where they could access anybody's phone, anybody's information at any time.
Yeah, and I think that's why I forget his name, but the new head of Apple kind of flagged it and made it known to the public because he knew. He knew. He's like, oh, you guys already have all this information. You're just trying to get something to kind of dig into everybody else's at your choosing.
Right. That was good on his part, dude. I don't. You don't really see that too much these days.
Snowden.
Yeah, but like he's just one person. This is like a big, huge company.
Yeah, I mean, Google's been pretty quiet about it, so I'm assuming they're already under the veil as well as Windows or Microsoft. So
Yeah, Google's been known. Like they call it botnet. They use Chrome and it tracks everything you do and all the shit that you look up and all the things that you're interested in. Um, that's what people call it. They call it botnet because it's basically they're feeding this information into the government.
yeah, I mean, I'm against it, but at the same time, don't do dumb shit. I guess it's hard to really. I mean, I don't hold the stance where I believe they're entitled to the information, but at the same time, like, there's not a lot you can do on the internet that is illegal. And if you are doing that illegal stuff on the internet, I mean, you're doing it wrong.
You're not in as many proxies as you need to be.
Yeah,
you know that I wonder, I'm behind seven proxies joke.
yeah, the Twitter thing.
Yeah, she was hilarious.
Uh,
You ain't catching me. I'm behind 7 proxy.
it's like, yeah, good luck finding them.
Yeah. That was a,
You know,
that
at
was
the same time, I'm sure there's holes in that, and they could bounce straight through and track that. So it's like,
yeah. You ever, what is that? Yeah, Tor. You've used that before?
yeah, yeah, I use Tor for certain things. Again, I've talked about IRC. IRC is a good one.
Hmm.
It's very, very hard. Also, you can set up your own VPNs between you and your friends where they could try to get the information, but it's completely encrypted. So
Right.
if you're really trying to do things that you just would like to be held, private, there's there's plenty of ways. That's why the government's been fighting so hard against encryption and
Right.
trying to take down all of the encryptors because that's one thing that they can't defeat, and they can't defeat it because while they're collecting, metadata or whatever they're doing in large amounts of throughput, they don't have time to process the decryption. It's not that
Hmm.
they it's eventually if they get a hold of some information that they really want to decode, like they'll just sit there and decrypt it, but that takes time. That takes machine hours.
Right.
Yeah, and they want to avoid that in general. They just want to be able to just read stuff as it comes.
Yeah. That was the whole
It
thing
saves them
because I get
time,
the,
energy, and money.
what was that?
It saves them time, energy, and money.
Yeah, I guess that was the whole thing too because all Apple stuff is encrypted. So they're like, just give us a back door. Just like let us in and just do whatever we want. And they're like, nope.
Yeah. No, but privacy is a very important thing. I mean, there's a whole reason, we have our constitutional rights. One of them is, not, being forced to not harbor, but house like military affiliates.
Hmm.
It's just, this is your house, this is your space. It's not property of the government. It's,
Right.
as much as people like to push it with like Sanders and everybody else, socialism and communism are not a complete thing here yet.
Yet.
Yet, yeah. Oh, by the way, side reel.
Mhm.
I was told about an interesting loophole with the dual citizenship in the United States.
Oh, yes, that was really interesting. I didn't know that when we were talking about that.
When we were
Like,
talking about expatriating, well, I dug
yeah.
deeper and talked to some really, really smart people.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Apparently, in Paraguay, which isn't the richest country, but you can get, if you open a bank account in Paraguay and you put $5,000 into a bank account, if you wait it's like 3 to 5 years. I don't remember the exact number. Uh, you'd have to look this up if you're actually interested.
Huh.
Basically, wait that time with that amount of money in the bank, and they will grant you citizenship and a passport in that country, and it will be unflagged by the United States. And you could actually travel off of that passport.
So this is you said Paraguay?
Yes, Paraguay, South America.
Okay. So so you could be a citizen there. Does it allow you to be citizens elsewhere, or I don't know, really know how that works.
Well, dual citizenship with American citizenship is illegal,
Uh-huh.
so you can acquire a passport from Paraguay, but don't get caught with it, and then you can travel around the world however you want with that passport, and then basically just ignore your U.S. citizenship.
Hmm.
And there are certain countries where they're just like, yeah, that's cool, it's whatever, we don't care. Like most of Europe is like that with if you have that passport, so you'll never be tracked as a U.S. citizen as you're moving around.
Right.
I just thought that was interesting.
It's funny because in Europe, um, the most black marketed item is the United States passport.
Which was odd to me because it's like, why would you want that?
Right. That's what's kind of funny. I was like, you just told me that, and it's like that's like the most black marketed thing is the is the American passport.
Well, that's probably because people you basically ditch. They don't want to get like a green card or a visa, and they just want to come straight to the States. And that's probably
Yeah.
like the easiest way.
Yeah. Just interesting kind of side note.
It's interesting to me that a lot of Americans, if you read like a lot of what's happening with expatriates and all the laws they're putting into place to prevent such things, kind of how there's like this resurgence of people leaving the country, at least successful citizens.
Why do you think it's so important to them that we aren't able, they're trying to not make it really hard for us to go live somewhere else?
Oh, it's money.
It's all about
When
money.
members of society leave, which is what's happening right now,
Hmm.
um, they're the producers and they're the ones that generate, you know, anything,
Uh,
money, you know, items, anything that's going to help the country. And they're fighting very hard to prevent that right now because there's this, like I said, massive resurgence of people leaving the country, at least on an intellectual level. People are just like, fuck this place. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm going to go somewhere else smarter.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's so it would affect like like smaller people like you or I, who are just like civilians, not really like. Do you think they're kind of targeting and directing like bigger heads, or it's just everybody?
They're just targeting everybody because really, like, there's the outliers, but really, it's the smaller producers that do things, right?
Hmm.
The guy in the lab, all the people in the little workshops that are actually making things and good at what they do.
The
A lot of
workers.
them are just kind of looking up and being like, "Fuck this! I'm part of the proletariat, and I'm getting taken advantage of. I'm out."
Yeah, that's fucking that's fucking messed up. It's like
Yeah,
what is freedom?
it is an illusion.
Basically, shit.
Yeah, but back to privacy. I
Uh,
think this. I mean, not to put you on the spot, but how much time do you spend on your phone every day? What kind of things do you do on your phone?
I do surface shit. I don't do any like crazy things. Like I'll text message and like Facebook and
But all of your social interaction,
huh?
with other people.
Right. It's just yeah, Facebooking and Snapchatting and messaging, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, but it's not really like that really defines who you are because that's all of your circles, right? Like all of this stuff you would like dig a little deeper or something that's kind of like more research and less related to your interactions. They basically know everything about your life at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
So people want to like rationalize it and try to say like you said earlier, like if as long as you're not doing anything, then it should be fine. As long as you're not doing anything illegal, blah blah blah. And it's like, well, there's a big gray area there where they could just do corrupt kind of shit and just abuse the power.
Yeah.
So in my eyes, I'd rather them not be able to do that, just in case, you know. But
Exactly. I mean, it would be terrible for it to come to a point where it's like somebody in power decided they didn't like you, and in order to control you, they went after your circles,
right,
which is obviously the worst case scenario, but there should be no reason that that could be a thing.
hmm right. I don't like that. That's just even the possibility is just there.
Well, I mean, if it could be a thing, it should be public record that whoever's chasing after you, all of their circles and connections are open to the public, you know?
Right, just have it, have the power equal on both sides. Like we were talking earlier, like then obviously they're not going to be allow us to do that.
No.
Yeah. Um. So I guess where should the public step in? Because with the Apple thing, I guess it was justified because he was a terrorist. But Like it's I guess people's question is where do we draw the line? Like it's like
Well, from what I know, it's very easy to break through and decrypt that. Like, I can't remember who it was, but there are a few independent factions in the United States that were willing to, basically decode all of that for the government, as opposed to having Apple actually release kind of a software update.
yeah.
And from what I've seen, the government hasn't really been interested in like, oh yeah, this one device will just decrypt for you, and then we'll get all of the information. And so they're more after just having the tool.
Hmm.
And I mean, obviously that's a concern.
Right. Because yeah, given too much power,
Well,
Where
they're
does
looking.
where does it stop?
Well, the problem with it is they're used to people just saying yes.
Oh yeah, that was the one thing when I saw Apple was like, nope, we're not doing that. And I was like, awesome. Like I'm not, uh, I'm
Yeah,
not, I'm not
how many people said yes before people said no?
right,
And even then, how many times did Apple say yes until they said no?
right. I don't know. Yeah, that's, um,
I mean, we don't know this. That's
yeah,
kind of the issue.
yeah. I mean, it may have been like a publicity stunt too. Some people were saying so. Who knows?
Well, I think maybe there was a little bit of that, but
What are you doing?
I'm not going to. I'm actually making some rice.
All I hear is like liquids and falling, and I was like,
No, look, listen. It's my stove.
all right.
Um, no, but yeah, you threw me off. You threw me off. Um, but there's a back to how many people said yes, before it said no. But like, I don't think Apple was really in it for the publicity. I mean, they're not exactly doing poorly right now. I mean, every time they release an update, everybody replaces their phones. So, they're rolling in money.
Yeah.
I think this was a genuine stand where they're just like, okay, we're helping you way too fucking much. You need to, figure some shit out on your own.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
we're definitely not just going to give you, the keys to everybody's door, basically.
Right. Because
And
once,
like if you looked at like the initial reaction from the government, they're like, "No, we never did that. Why would we? What? No, no."
trust
And then
us,
they kind of like
we're so honest.
they kind of recanted from that, and they're just like, "Oh, I guess we did ask this one time, but it was just a special case, And
Oh,
it's like,
it's like we've already gone through this with everybody, like before, like Snowden and all them. Like, we know your hands are dirty, motherfucker.
yeah,
Come on, it's not. Don't. Well, I guess it's just like concerning the average American. So like, obviously, they're like, oh, blah blah blah, what's this? And then if you know history about this, you would you can honestly see it for what it is.
yeah. History in general. Uh,
Yeah, people, ugh, I fucking hate trends. But
well,
I,
Jefferson is pretty good at just say,
what?
why don't we just tear it down every now and then? And then it's not a problem because all of these
Oh,
things are
Jefferson,
grown.
and he said what he used to say about shitting blood for uh what did he say? What was this quote? Patriots shedding blood to like tear down the government. It needs to be like the what was it? The tree of liberty needs to be refreshed with blood of the patriot or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's an
I think
amazing quote.
ridiculous. It was like
What?
a very short amount of time that he decided it should be, but I think he did it based on whatever generation lengths are. Because
Yeah.
you have like generation to generation, people just don't realize things, right? You have this
Hmm.
terrible civil war over all of this stupid shit that happens, and then it kind of just like grows back over the system and then needs to be shed.
Right.
There's always resistance against that from the the consolidated power, and then there's always the people that are separate from that.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna look up that quote and how he said it word for word.
Please do, because I'm actually a little frustrated. I can't remember it off the top of my head.
It's really intricate quote, so it's not like one of those easy ones you just throw out. It's like
Yeah,
it's one of his more like it's one of his more insightful and like profound quotes.
yeah, and he experienced it.
Yep.
But I mean, at this point, it's gone so far. It's just a mess. I had a conversation with one of my business partners today where he's like, "We don't need lawmakers anymore. We need law unmakers." No,
Yeah.
he was just like he wouldn't shut up about it. But I was like, I really appreciated what he was saying. I was just like, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like,
Yeah. Well,
you know, go ahead.
the quote is the tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is very similar to a quote that I can think of by, is it Robespierre? Which one was the one that was stabbed to death in the bathtub? It was either Rousseau or Robespierre.
What was the quote?
It was very similar to that. I mean, I'm not verbatim about to just spelt it out to you.
Well, you better. I want to hear it right now.
I think it's Rousseau.
Oh,
Russeu, I guess.
I'm not even gonna look.
Yeah, you better look that quote up.
Oh God. How'd you spell it?
Russeu. I believe the quote. Oh, what was it? It was something about revolution isn't over until everybody that has taken part in the revolution has essentially been destroyed or deceased. It might be Robespierre though.
Yeah, I'm not seeing.
I'm gonna look it up too.
You look it up. Yeah, Thomas Jefferson has some pretty gnarly quotes though.
Yeah. I love the Robespierre. Okay, I'm going off Robespierre right now.
Okay.
I'm just gonna read a couple of them. The secret of freedom lies in educating people, whereas the secret of tyranny is in keeping them ignorant.
Right.
To punish the oppressors of humanity is clemency. To forgive them is cruelty.
Yep.
Crime butchers innocence to secure a throne, and innocence struggles with all its might against the attempts of crime. The king must die so that the country can live. The general will rules in society as the private will governs each separate individual. Oh shit. There's a one that rings true.
Yep.
Any law which violates the inalienable rights of man is essentially unjust and tyrannical. It is not a law at all.
Hmm.
Any institution which does not suppose the people good and the magistrate corruptible is evil. And then atheism is aristocratic. The idea of a great being that washes over oppressed innocence and punishes triumphant crime is altogether popular. Oh, that's a little dig right there.
Yep. Let's see. Um, I like um, Thomas Jefferson quotes. Um, like the one he says. I'm just gonna do this off the top of my head. He said, "Those those are closer to the truth that know nothing than those filled with falsehoods and errors."
Yeah, right.
That one's amazing.
Okay, so that was Robespierre, but I don't think that was the quote I was looking for. It must be Rousseau. Let's see if I can-
Okay.
There's so many old philosophers during these crazy revolutions that they had back in like the 1500s.
Yeah. What what's your favorite quotes from The fuck is his name? Oh my god, brain fart. That German philosopher. Let's see.
Oh, this is a good one by Rousseau. It is too difficult to think nobly when one thinks only of earning a living. Oh, man is born free and everywhere he is in chains.
um. Oh. What the hell? Damn. Nietzsche. Friedrich Nietzsche. What's your
Well,
What's your favorite quotes
all
from
of
him?
all of the good Nietzsche quotes. I think the one that always stings and rings most true. Uh, you're gonna make me look this up so I don't sound like a dummy.
I have some of his books. It's kind of hard to read.
Well, the translations are poor.
Oh, okay. Like
But what
it's
I'm talking about is churches are the sepulchres of God, basically. Where basically everybody is in attendance, but they don't really know why, and nobody's actually following what religion was at some point. It's just kind of this thing that people use to make themselves feel better.
right. Oh. So yeah, we got Apple versus FBI. I think we should hit Snowden now, unless you want to keep going with the quotes.
No, it's okay. Well, I'm enjoying these quotes because it reminds me of intelligence, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I have. You ever? He's more of like an atheist. Bertrand Russell.
Yeah, yeah.
He has some pretty good ones, but they're on like kind of the atheist side. So
I'm open to all opinions. Sometimes I don't accept all of them.
yeah.
I will consider them. That's all, though.
You ever kind of have this philosophy where I kind of learned over time that like that saying that everybody's opinion is valid, but at the same time, I think we should condemn like really bad ideas.
Oh, trust me. I hate everybody's opinion. There are some people I listen to, I'm like, oh, you actually thought about that. And then there's people that just want to be heard, and you're just like, oh, somebody like put that guy in the town square and execute him so we don't ever have to do an opinion again.
God. Oh, jeez. Uh,
Well, no, because engineer, like those people are the ones that like, well, if we really got into like tech and the struggle that is business in the tech forum, it's like there are managers and they're always non-technical. Okay, there are some places where kind of like these rare oases where it's just like we have technical managers and they actually understand things that are told to them, but that doesn't happen everywhere. Most places it doesn't happen. But you have non-technical managers that are trying to drive the business forward, and then you have like intelligent engineers sitting at a table trying to like convey an ideas to them and explain to them like this is the right way to go, and then there's that jerk off in the corner that like, oh well, we can do it this way because it's really easy, but really it's like you're not actually doing anything that will work correctly, and it's just going to be a problem for the company, from here until that project is over.
mhm.
But you have people like that in every type of forum where they're just like, opinion heard makes me sound good, but like doesn't help at all. It just ruins everything and muddies the waters.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I always lean on some kind of meritocracy because I think you need to have achievements and kind of built your own, I don't know, your own way
Yeah.
before you actually share your opinion, before it's to be respected.
Yeah, like I just just that whole idea like everybody's opinion's valid. It's like obviously not.
Well, that's like all people are created equal. Huh? Keep telling yourself that.
Oh man.
I'm sorry. You piss people off when you say that, but honestly, who in their right mind is ever going to tell you that that's true? Like, I don't know. There's some guy over there, and he's like buff as fuck, and he's lifting like 1,000,000 pounds. I'm like, ugh, that's okay. I'm his equal. I'm gonna go lift the same thing. You know? Like, no. It's like that same buff guy. I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna solve this equation. He's gonna be like, oh, it's okay. We're equals. I'm gonna do the same shit. Like, no, fuck off. We're all different.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I think we're going into kind of
You can't say
politics
we're
right
all
now.
you can't say we're all equal and we're all unique and then kind of like drive
Well,
forward. You
it's kind
just
of
look
like
like
this funny. It's kind of like this fucking like funny push and like fall away kind of stuff because they're really pushing for diversity back in the day, and now they're really pushing for equality. It's like, uh, what? Pick to like stick to one side. It's like we're either all diverse and are good at different things, or we're all equal and we're all basically the same. So pick
well,
which
I
one you
think
want.
I mean, diversity is important, and I think this push for equality that everybody's doing right now is like, I understand it makes everybody feel good about themselves, but
Right.
you don't learn when you're always feeling good about yourself. You got to fail stuff and be like, you know what? That's not really my cup of tea. I'm gonna go over here,
Uh-huh.
try this. Maybe it'll be better.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not.
It's dangerous too because it's applied in certain ways, like medical services and like being a firefighter and a police officer. Like you always want the best person for the job.
Well,
Like,
you know what? You know what? Actually, it's a really funny thing that's been going on. Have you been following like the equality that they've been pushing for in the military with like women in the front line and stuff?
I can only imagine.
Well, I have no problem with the feminist movement and like women being equal
Hmm.
in terms of rights, right? But there are clear
That's the
differences
thing. That's
between
the thing. Like,
men and
there's
women. And there's been this kind of pushback from the servicemen in the military, and I guess they generated new standards for the women that they needed to, pass as like army rangers and infantry and stuff. And they're lower than what men have to do, just like the numbers in general.
right.
And there have been a few protests by the male servicemen where they're like, you know what, like they got to pass the same numbers we got to pass because if I'm shot, I'm on the ground. I'm gonna need that woman to carry me out of the battlefield. And if she
Right.
can't meet the same numbers, how's she gonna carry me out?
Right.
It, it seems sexist, but at the same time, it's like I see where you're coming from.
Oh, it's not. It's just that automatically like labeling things like sexist or racist or whatever. I think that's kind of counterproductive because
Well, if
it's just
that's
like
true, then you have to call genetics sexist, right? Damn
yeah.
you,
Well, like
genetics.
it's like it's like people don't want to like be concerned with like reality and they just want things in all these nice little packages, all these safe spaces and all these things that will never offend them, and it's like sometimes you're gonna get offended, like that's just life, you can't, you're not gonna, people want to live in these like this little
Well,
mindset. What?
we should look towards the ideal as perfection, because obviously it is. Any physics problem you do, if you apply ideal circumstances, it makes it a lot easier.
Right.
But in reality, we have to be practical, right?
Hmm.
We have to approximate things. We have to be like, oh, actually, you know what? There is going to be a little bit of friction, going that direction. You're going to have to account for.
Yeah.
It's, I
I
mean, it's
guess
a
it.
problem everywhere.
Yeah. Practicality. Yeah. I mean, practicality
Yes.
and common sense.
Yeah. Anyways, I believe we have digressed yet again.
But we always do that. We always just fall back into
Yes.
that discussion. I think we were trying to talk about Snowden, and then something happened with equality, and then we just totally lost our heads.
Well, honestly, it's been so long since the whole Snowden happened. Though, like even the details I did know, they're like gray to me now. They're a little shady. So
Yeah,
it's like
I think it
I
was
don't know.
a. I think yeah, he'll. I don't know. Do you think he'll? It'd be cool if it was like he was like in the history book, but I don't think he ever will be.
Um, I think he will be. Maybe just Russian history books, but he'll be around.
Yeah, because that was humongous. You know.
Um, I mean, I don't think it was humongous, as it's kind of a demonstration of this current state of affairs. Because we had Deep Throat back in the day, right? We've had people that have kind of leaked information, and then the people got it, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is actually a thing. We need
Yeah,
justice. We need to fix this problem," right?
yeah,
Where now it's like Snowden's like, "Oh, look at this thing," and they're just like, "Find him and hang him," you know?
yeah. You're just going straight for the neck.
Yeah.
That's
So
how they
it's like,
fucking deal with it now, dude. It's really scary. It's like
yeah,
there's there's no justice system anymore. It's like you want to put these people on trial. No, they're just gonna go right after these people, and it's kind of like it's like a corruption of our system. Obviously, I mean it's the government, but it's just like in plain view. It's like blatant. It's like it's like Jesus. At
yeah.
least be a little subtle about your fucking corruption.
Well, they're not. I mean, they are until they can't be, and then they're just like, "Oh,
Well, they're
look
put
over
out. They're
here.
put
There's
out
something else going on."
when they're put out like that. There's not. Yeah, it's like what the next step is. Just like stop him before he spotlights any more of our fucking wrongdoings.
Yeah, yeah, which is not a good thing. It's it's not a good thing for liberty. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I know we're literally. I'm not gonna say it's Orwellian quite yet, but it's definitely headed that direction. Like there needs to be a serious push in the other direction from people, but they seem to be distracted, more interested in.
Well,
Yeah,
you have that big like SJW movement where they're asking for the government to silence people, and it's like there's this big percentage
you
of.
know, I don't think there's so much asking to silence people as uh, we kind of touched on this before. And I think you're overly concerned with that so much as people just in certain forums do not want to be bothered with other people's opinions. They just kind of want to like talk about their feelings with respect to something, and they don't want that dissenting opinion.
Well, I think it's not so much it's just opinions itself. It's just challenging their beliefs and like putting up a front. Just like if you're going to say something like this and I'm going to contradict what you're saying, they don't like that.
No, I mean nobody likes that, right?
I mean, if
This
you're,
is
the thing is with arguing and having a debate is you have to be,
well. Let's not
yeah,
have an argument. Let's have a debate.
well, yeah, but if you have to be, you have to, you have to have a strong viewpoint. Like if you have to actually believe what you're saying, and if you're going out on a limb and putting yourself out there, then I think it's part of your duty to have a good argument on your side. If you don't, then you're just a fucking whiner, you know?
um, I mean, obviously that's not how it's supposed to be, but I think the media has pushed people in, you know, they push them very far in one direction. This is what you believe. This is how things are supposed to be, and then they'll grab random scientists and have them do these bias surveys and be like, "Look, this is why," but never actually like touch on real facts or like be unbiased about things. Everything's so partisan now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the government doesn't want unity. That's for sure. They have
No. And
they want us to be as separated as possible, and that's exactly how we are. We have the bipartisan. We have two groups, two like simple minded. Like we have Republican and Democrat, but there's obviously
well,
branches.
I mean that's kind of a something very terrible that came out of the 20th century is the two-party system, right? It wasn't always like that.
Yeah, And then you always have separation of race and separation of religion and separation of gender and separation of fucking identity and all this different fucking shit. It just piles on, and you're just like, you just can't relate to anybody anymore.
Well, there is common ground, but the common ground is what what is defined as acceptable by the system, right? Because you have to, if you stray away from the system, then you have issues, and that, I mean that makes sense, right? There are criminals, there are people that like fall on the negative side of the spectrum that they kind of want to push out, but the problem is there's people on the other side of the spectrum, like the Snowdens, that are trying very hard to reveal bad things that are happening, and it's like, oh no, that's not part of the way this works. You can't say that, and that, I think that's the biggest issue with this whole system that's been built since the Gilded Age.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? Like, it's part of culture, or why do you? Let's see. What's kind of a deeper, more philosophical question? Is like,
I wouldn't say it's cultural as so much as it's societal. I mean, cultural, you'd have to dive into, you know, everybody's culture. And
yeah.
that's I don't think that's the problem. The problem right
Well,
now is
you
society.
kind of like spotted on like criminality and shit. It's like, um, it's just like, are people born this way, or are they taught? It's like a factor of their environment. It's like, I think it's kind of a little bit of both. So,
Mm, I'm having trouble following that one.
like, do you think like criminal minds are like born like they're like criminally insane or whatever? And, it's part of their genetics. I think, and then my other thing was it's a part of culture. Like you see these gangster culture that it's very popular, where the people
Like
are just
Thug Life.
yeah that, and they become criminals and are basically counterproductive to the system. I guess I was asking. Uh, I was saying that I think there's a little bit of both.
Um, Let me see. Touching back, I don't think anybody's born that way. Obviously, everybody is a victim of circumstance and where you come from. But criminally speaking, I think society is pushed very hard in certain directions, like with privacy and they're harboring all of this fear and things like against terrorists, where they've kind of pushed people and trained people into believing certain things.
Like fear mongering.
I mean, yes, yeah.
Yeah, I believe that. I mean, I think that the fucking like war on terror, war on drugs, these different types of war on things that don't actually do anything.
Well, they do things.
Well, not not
They
not,
they
not, not
create they help the government grow and they create jobs within
when
the
you
government.
when
But
you
what they end up doing is oppressing the people. And I mean, like, who are the people that fall victim to the war on drugs, right? It's usually the users and
yeah
sometimes the dealers, but
yeah
really,
well,
if you made
like
all of it legal, who would the criminals be?
right that was
Nobody. I mean, like, think of the pharmaceutical industry. Like, those are the biggest drug dealers in the United States. And
in the biggest killers too.
yeah, and you don't really see. I mean, they keep talking about this opioid epidemic, but like, where is it coming from? The pharmaceutical industry and all of the doctors that are bought by the pharmaceutical industry, they're constantly just feeding people drugs. And I mean, how do you not get addicted to something when you constantly prescribe something and you think that it's helping you?
Right, and they become dependent on it. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah. Tell me about it. I've seen it more than once.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking bad. Yeah, there's a big problem there. There's like these doctors that want to shoo you away and just like here's a solution to your problem. Go away now, and they don't want to. I guess And
Well, not
just
only
like,
that, but like, or, I don't even know about this. This is not so much conspiracy theories. Like, do we really know that the doctors that are prescribing this aren't getting kickbacks? That they're not actually given some kind of incentive to actually prescribe these drugs to people and then make them shoo away? Because it probably kills two birds with one stone with them.
yeah. Yeah, you could go into conspiracy theories. Um, there's like, what is it? The Obviously, the lower the population, the easier it is to control. So try to kill off as many people,
Well, I don't think they're killing off people; as they're like zombifying them.
or just leeching off of them. Like, oh, one of my conspiracy that I always like subscribe to is, um, they probably have the cure for cancer, but there's no money in the cure for cancer.
I don't know if that's true. That's a little far. I think people are working very hard. Very good people are working very hard to like cure cancer, but I think it's a multi-dimensional problem that's just not easily solved.
Yeah, but the second part of that statement is pretty true though. There's no money in curing it. Like
You know,
yeah,
you say that, but the first person to come out with a cure for cancer would be very, very wealthy if they didn't
I'm talking
decide.
about like the constant source of income, like as medications go.
For research, yeah, that's true for research, but once you come up with a cure, the person that came up with it could run, basically run production on it and just make a killing and then shut all of the research down. And I think the wealth would just shift
Yeah, and the
from
government doesn't want
research
that
and
because
development to,
the government doesn't want one person to be having the cure and then having to shut down all these streams of revenue.
I mean, I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree with you. It's like if you have to think about like, well, what was one of the really big problems like in the early 1900s was polio, right?
Hmm.
And when they finally came out with the polio vaccines, like everybody just did everything they could to just eradicate that issue. I
Do you
don't
think?
think there's any government force preventing a cure from cancer.
No, I don't think directly. No, but I think all I'm trying to say is um, there's a lot of dark forces behind the pharmaceutical industry, and um, and I think that I don't know. It doesn't seem too far off to say that you know one person holding the cure for cancer is very dangerous to these companies.
Um, Maybe to other companies that are profiting off research, but I don't think they have as much control as you think they have. I wouldn't jump too far in all those conclusions.
So you think it'll be okay?
What would be okay? It's going to be okay, Richard. It's okay.
You think it would be okay for one person to be like, "Hey, no need for you guys to make this cancer medicine anymore," which is like $1 billion industry. I got the cure. You're not making any more money anymore.
Yeah, I mean that's hopefully the one of the few good things about capitalism is once a cure was found, they would be able to capitalize on it and then cure cancer hopefully for everybody,
I
or
guess
at least a large
what if
large
he wants
percentage of cancers.
what if he wants to patent it?
Uh, well, I don't know how patent works on cures like that, but I'm sure they would get it for like 14 years or whatever the timeline is. And yeah, they would capitalize on that and they would mass produce it and they would essentially save the world or whoever's dying of cancer, at least their world.
I think what I'm trying to say is like these patients are long life customers, and once that's taken away, they lose a lot of the money.
Well, the same thing's true for AIDS, right? And hepatitis.
Yeah,
But that doesn't mean
You could be Shrekley and or what do you say his name?
Shkreli.
Shkreli, yeah.
Martin Shkreli.
Yeah, I'm talking about shit like that, man. Come on.
Yeah, but those people exist because there is no cure, right? And they can, if you were able to cure one of those diseases, you would get, uh, whatever prescription you needed to cure that disease, it would be cured, and then you would no longer profit off of it.
Yeah,
It
I
wouldn't
just
be
like
this
uh,
subscription that you had for life.
the just the extent and the darkness of these type of people that like run their pharmaceutical companies. It's like it wouldn't be too far off for me to imagine like what kind of shit might happen if
Yeah, but I think
someone.
a lot of these people are narcissistic enough that they'll want to really secure because they'll be like, I was the one that cured cancer. Put me in the history books, you know?
Oh yeah. Well, I think the factor that kind of remains unseen is like coming from you is just the extent these dark pharmaceutical practices will go trying to like I don't know it's conspiratorial like I said, but um, to keep that kind of shit under wraps.
Yeah. Uh, Again, I disagree. Everybody wants a cure. Everybody
I
wants to be responsible for the cure. It's like if you were able to cure the common cold, like you'd be one
That's the
rich
thing.
mofo.
That's not. I mean, I don't understand like the biology, like this new bugs. They you could become immune to this bug, and then a new bug crap comes up, and then your body's not used to that, and then it's fucked up again. It's just over and over and over. Fucking
Well, I
bacteria.
think that's a it's a real battle for medicine right now,
Yeah.
especially with antibiotics and the fact that we prescribe antibiotics for everything, and pretty much every bacterium in existence is becoming resistant to
Yeah.
antibiotics just because they're all
I've seen
exposed to it,
that.
and they're
Yeah,
like,
I've seen.
"Oh,
Yeah,
hey,
it not
now
working
the only
anymore.
thing left is antibiotic-resistant bacteria."
Yeah, just super bugs.
Yeah, well, MRSA. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're literally cultivating and helping bacteria to evolve to be better than what our pharmaceutical industry's able to produce.
hmm
It's a bad
Or like
problem.
we're training the bacterias and the fucking
Yeah, to destroy us.
yeah. There's gonna be like one super one like the plague, and it's just gonna kill everybody.
Yeah, yeah. I believe in like 1914 during World War I, there was the pretty intense Spanish influenza,
Oh yeah.
wiped out a lot of people. But
hmm
stuff like that comes around because we create ideal conditions for them to just proliferate and destroy large swaths of humanity
So I
instead of
think you're were you the one that was your one of your gamer tags was seditionist H1N1.
yeah.
So what was your kind of your background? You're kind of against that type of stuff.
I'm against a lot of things personally.
Oh yeah, but like specifically like vaccines and shit.
I mean, I think vaccines are very important. I think we need to load our body up with antibodies. It's something that, you
hmm
know,
Or like the flu, like the yearly flu shot that you can get. What do you think about that kind of stuff?
yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'm not targeting vaccines. I'm targeting antibiotics with that conversation.
Mm,
And so long as we're just prescribing antibiotics willy-nilly, this, this problem's only going to get worse. Like
yeah.
antibiotics, I think are something you give somebody that was like broke their leg, had a compound fracture, and like were out in the wilderness for a week and they started to get gangrene. Yeah, give that guy antibiotics, clear everything out of his system. But
Yeah.
if you're just fighting off a bacterial infection, like boost your immune system and let your body take care of it. Stop cultivating antibiotic resistant bacterium.
Yeah. I've always been like if it's like extreme, like a fever or like something that's gonna kill me, then yeah. But if it's just like some common cold, I usually just let my body just take care of it.
I mean, good for you.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, that's how our immune system works. Let it work.
Yeah. And I'm rarely sick. Like I'll get like a big one like every couple of years. But like when was the last time I was sick that you remember?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Better than me. I feel like my immune system's a little weak. I get knocked out with weird plagues every now and then.
You think that's because of your alcohol intake?
Quite possibly.
Uh,
I might be immunosuppressing myself.
oh, well, I don't think that's an issue you want to bring up right
I know. I'm pretty good about my intake. I don't know where you're coming from.
now. Do you think you have a problem with it?
No, no.
Okay.
I think I used to cope a lot with some problems just by drinking, but I think I've at this point probably outgrown it.
I couldn't do that because drinking just makes me more emotional.
Yeah. Well, I guess everybody's got their own reaction to it. Me,
Yeah.
it was like a numbing agent, but that's a completely separate discussion.
Like I said, it's probably not something you want to touch on here.
Trying to put me on blast right now. I see how it is.
Always, my friend. I'm the poker and the prodder.
hmm This is the guy who's always bringing over a 12 pack of Heineken.
Heineken. I'll bring over tall back of stone. Do the job. Do the job well.
Oh, sorry. I'm delving too far back into the past.
Yeah, that was like whoa. I was like
We could be.
that was like coming of age. That was like when I first started trying to get into drinking beer. I was like, oh, look at all these fucking mass-produced beer. I've seen commercials for all these. These must be the best ones.
I never really liked Heineken because it tasted like weed to me. No, I thought it was weird.
Smells like weed too.
Hmm.
You ever smelt
Never
it?
thought about that.
Yeah, right when you crack that shit open, it's like you just get this big whiff. You're like, oh, that smells like some dank weed, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Lately, I've been on a health grind. I mostly just exercise and eat healthy,
Yeah.
drink from time to time.
Well, you get
Try to only do it when I'm celebrating.
yeah. There are like there's organic beer.
Oh, is there non-GMO beer too?
There's actually a list. Yes.
Is there
Yes.
gluten-free beer too? Yeah, oh, awesome.
There's a list of all the GMO beers, and there's also a list of beers that don't do GMO. It's kind of funny.
Wow.
Yeah, that actually exists. Kind of.
My biggest problem is I don't care too much about that stuff. I
Yeah.
think certain GMOs are bad, but you know, everything we eat is GMO. I mean, look at bananas.
Hmm.
They're or corn. If you saw corn like the way Native Americans had it, it's completely different.
Right.
And that wasn't something that happened in a lab 2 years ago. That's something that happened, 200 years ago. So
Yeah.
I would take the whole GMO movement with a grain of salt. Assuming you don't have what's that one company? The one everybody
Monsanto.
hates right now, Monsanto. Yeah, where they're sitting in a lab and they're doing all these weird genetic hybridizations and thinking that they're playing God, but
Yeah.
really they're creating these weird machinations that could potentially destroy our health.
Yeah. Uh, kind of lost my train of thought.
Oh, it's okay. We ran way off.
Yeah. Um.
Let's get back to tech.
Okay.
Tech and privacy.
Okay. Talk about NSA. We hit Apple versus SBI. We hit Snowden. NSA's was next, and then Misc and electronics.
Hmm. Well, what's something I've been following that's rather interesting and possibly profitable. I've actually started a small venture into it. Bitcoins. Have you ever heard of those?
Yes.
Yeah,
Creating
their own
super
currency.
creating super supercomputers to fucking dig for that shit.
Yeah,
I don't even understand
basically.
what it is. Like I know like it exists, but I don't even know what's the objection or the objective. Like what's going on.
So what happens is you have these tech-savvy individuals, and they run things called miners. And what the miners do is they do a decent amount of work. Like they run oh they run kind of like a decryption algorithm, and really what they're doing is they're generating tables and looking for matches to keywords.
Hmm.
And um, you have certain blocks that each miner is kind of running on, and then when they find matches, they kind of um, present a match, and then when that match is found, they're rewarded for the work that they have done in that block, and that reward is in the form of a Bitcoin, which is now a pretty well recognized currency.
You can actually use it
Uh,
to buy things, right?
I mean, I've been using it to sell things, and then people are paying in Bitcoin, and then I convert it to cash. So
You can
it's an
actually convert it.
interesting
You can actually convert it to cash.
straight to cash, and there's no conversion fee. It's awesome, actually.
Holy shit! What's like one Bitcoin equal?
One Bitcoin is like $490 right now.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
How... Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah. What's even more crazy is a couple of months ago there it was about 375, and it China released like a large set of miners out there,
Uh,
and those miners uh, increased the difficulty, which in turn inflated the value of a Bitcoin.
hmm.
So it jumped like $100 per Bitcoin. Really kicking myself because I had a few, and then I I sold them and converted them to cash when I could have held on to them for like a month, and then all of a sudden had good 30% increase in whatever I was storing.
Huh. So how do you? So you so you run these algorithms to make positive matches, or
In a sense, yeah, you're basically running through a decryption algorithm until you come out with a potential matching word that would be generated by this algorithm.
and how do you obtain the Bitcoin?
It's
How does that
rewarded
work?
by the system to your address.
So your IP address?
Uh, well, it's to your wallet, which has some, string of characters, similar to an IP address.
It's just like labeled the wallet or something.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. But like,
Yeah.
I've heard stories like you have to.
There's crazy guys that have like multi-megawatt mines, and they just run them constantly, and some guys make like $30,000 a day just running these miners and maintaining them. And all they're doing is just plugging them in and letting them run. It's just a computer running.
Hmm. So what's the
Yeah.
value? What's the value of that? Like, what is
That
the
is the
outcome?
most interesting question because I don't think there is any real value added if you're just burning energy and doing work, and then there's a system that's rewarding it. I haven't dug too deep into actually realizing of what that is, but the answer I've gotten from most people is, kind of give like a shoulder shrug.
That's intense.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Holy
always
shit!
worried about it. If I have bitcoins, though, is always convert them to cash because like
It might just
one day
fucking
they
fall
could
apart.
just yeah, just go to nothing.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've always like I knew that it existed. I just didn't understand what it was.
Dude, if you got into it like in like 2008 and you had like 100 bitcoins or $100 worth of bitcoins, you would probably be like a millionaire right now
What the fuck?
if
I
you
just
just
don't get
spent
it.
a
It's like
bunch of
what?
it.
I don't get it.
Well, a
Is
lot of people are using it. Apparently, they're using it to convert money from one currency to another and then transfer it somewhere else, like on the planet. I
Huh.
heard there's a lot of immigration going on in South America, and the easiest way for them to convert cash is they'll like buy up bitcoins, and then they'll re-exchange it to whatever their currency is, like dollars. It's a good way to transfer wealth. So it's multifaceted.
And you said there's no payment involved for the transfer.
Nope, it's free exchange.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Because that could does it scale depending on how much money you're trying to move over?
No.
So like if like not Bitcoin, like if you're just like transferring money or transferring it or exchanging it for a different type, and there's that money involved to transfer that type. Does it scale with how much money you're trying to do it with?
No.
No.
It's 1 to 1 always.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool. They call it cryptocurrency. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
it's a good name for it because I have no idea.
Because I have no idea. Yeah. But it's cool because you have all of these weird techie guys, and they're like, it's mostly hobbyists doing things, and I've been coming in as a professional and be like, oh, hey, I saw this one board. It was done very poorly. Here is this board that is much improved. You guys should buy it. And they're like, oh, we'll
Yeah,
buy that. And I'm like, oh, let's go ahead and take it.
and like
Happy to pay.
to mine is extremely system intensive, isn't it?
Yes. It's like they say it's the gold rush of the 21st century.
That's crazy. Yeah, because I've been I browse the tech boards on 4chan and people talking about it and just like kind of like always just like having no idea what they're saying. And but like the systems that they would show, it's like whoa, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh no, I could point you to some forums that I'm not going to mention on the air. I could actually give you my handle, and you could look at some of the stuff that I've talked about in those forums, and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
It's fun though.
yeah, it
I
is
actually have
fun.
a test stand. I was going to run some tests on some stuff I developed later tonight after we got off the line.
Mhm. Let's see. So technology. What else is there? Bitcoins is good. It was a good kind of thing we fell into there.
Yeah.
Because I feel like nobody knows what it is. Like yeah, even for me, I was like, I know like it exists, but like you said, it's like cryptocurrency. So like it's not really too self-explanatory or like self-evident or anything. It's just kind of there and it happens.
Yeah. Oh, I just ate some of that rice I made, and it was super hot, and it's going down slow. Oh god.
Did you have a rice cooker or how did you make it?
I made some wild rice on the stove. It's
Okay,
delicious.
you have a rice cooker, don't you?
I do, but I usually save that for just like white rice,
Oh, what kind of rice is it?
wild rice.
Wild rice. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool. Yeah, I love fucking white rice, dude. It's my favorite rice.
Oh, it must be because you are Asian.
Yep, I have a genetic bias.
No,
Ugh,
I really like white rice too, with a little bit of ponzu.
God. Mm. I like it. You know what I do? Like, cause my mom, she has a rice cooker, and every time I'm there, it's like I'll get like a plate full of it, and it's like slather butter on it, like rice and butter. It's just like so good.
Oh, you know it's good in a rice cooker. This is more like Mediterranean,
Mm.
but melt butter into the water that you're going to use for the rice, and then pour that in the rice cooker. Mm.
Damn. My
Mm.
my mom, one of my favorite dishes she used to make. She used to do a slow cooker, but mushroom chicken. So fucking what?
We kind of wandered off topic.
Oh, everybody can relate to food, man.
That is true.
But yeah, she goddamn, it was so good. Slow cooker. What? Laughing at me.
It's like, Lord help me, that rice was so good.
It was. It was like It was slow cooked chicken with a mushroom. She made a mushroom sauce to cook it in, and goddamn, like, and it have has like some has some like buttered rice and some like green beans and shit. Oh man,
Oh yeah. Mm.
so fucking good.
So have you seen any new tech other than like random ridiculous PC builds?
um, I'm just following like like mainstream stuff like Nvidia and Radeon and Intel and AMD and that kind of shit. You ever gonna build a new setup?
No, I don't have time for a gaming PC. I just have time for doing work on my PC, and I try to stay off my computer for things other than work because that office gets so cramped.
You have your PS4, don't you, and your Xbox, and your Wii?
Yeah, yeah. I'm I like falling on those things when I have time, but I've just been so busy lately.
Yeah, that's what games are. They're a fucking time killer. It's like I'm bored. I'm gonna go do something for like 5 hours.
I mean, it's a hobby just like you playing guitar, you know. But it's
Yeah.
I would say it's fruitless because at least you obtain that skill playing guitar. Where
I make money
with
playing guitar too. So yeah, there's no money making for me for video games, but I just enjoy it. So
yeah,
and it keeps my mind like focused on something because my mind kind of wanders off and goes into like these weird areas where I get paranoid about shit and just kind of bad. But
well, I
yeah.
find when
What?
I get like down or really upset about something, I can
Hmm.
tune it out if I play some games. It's
Yeah.
always a good thing as long as I don't rely on that crutch too much.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's not like I'm a hardcore gamer. Like I will be for like every time that Diablo 3 has a patch or like a new season comes up, like I'll play it nonstop. But like I play it so much that I kind of burn it out. And
Yeah,
like I'll have like little tidbits like that where a new game that I'm really interested came out and I'll play it for the longest time and then I'll just like fall out of it because kind of just burnt it out. Like I did that with Fallout 4. Like I played the shit out of that game and kind of just fell out of
yeah.
interest 'cause I burnt it out.
Some Garvey telling you that you needed to save some settlers.
Yeah, over and over and over.
Yeah,
It's like, God
yeah,
damn it! Are you ever just gonna like complete this or what?
yeah. I got that feel where I was just kind of like, yeah, I could just not play this anymore.
It's very irritating. It's like Bethesda, stop this. This is like it's like this endless like quest.
Yeah,
They did release some updates though and some expansions, I think. So
I saw that, but all it really did for me when I tried it was like every time I went to a settlement, I would get like raided by like these really gnarly armies. I was just like, oh fuck, I gotta
did,
constantly repair all of my turrets.
did they add like any new NPCs or any new quests or anything?
I think that's coming soon, but
Okay, I'd be interested in that because I love the game as it is. Like it's a fun, really fun game to play. It's just like you just get to that point, and you're just like, all right, well, just finish the game, please.
yeah, I'm stuck in business land right now.
Yeah, well, that's a good focus retainer. Keep
Yeah,
yourself busy for a long time.
well, I'm on that risk path right now where I'm like trying to grow a business, but at the same time, like not working. Like I saved up a bunch of money and I'm kind of like hunkered down, just trying to do business.
Hmm.
This whole Bitcoin discussion came up, and then hopefully something happens. I'm kind of looking at the fitness space to see what contracts I can get. It's looking good, but I try not to get too positive. I've done enough. I've had enough entrepreneurial ventures to know that being optimistic is always a bad idea. And you
Just like
kind of have to
just like
remain
just like
focused and follow through, otherwise they just kind of fall
Just
through your
be
hands, fall through the cracks. It's like, oh, that
yeah,
opportunity's gone. I was doing really well, and then, oh, that's gone. Oh, wait, oh, gone.
yeah.
We're
Just
closely tracked.
people being like blindly optimistic and just not being like realistic or
I mean,
proactive about things.
my life for the last 5 years, I always get distracted by my 9 to 5, trying
Hmm.
to make that happen right now and just focus, focus, focus.
Yep. That works, I guess.
I can tell you're interested. Uh,
Well, yeah. Well, I don't really.
something that we started to talk about that I would love to kind of rant about. Managers in the tech industry and
Uh-huh.
poorly developed products that are kind of pushed through for profit. I mean, we've all seen it with, you get that one piece of software where you're just like, what is this shit? Did anybody test this? You're just kind of like in a dark room by yourself, like, why is this not working? Nobody even thought to check this.
Just integrity in general.
Yeah, business ethics is very lacking.
Yeah, it's kind of bad.
And what
Nvidia
companies,
Nvidia slipped up. They released the 970. It's supposed to be a 4 GB graphics card, and it's kind of weird for these companies to do this because there's going to be like enthusiasts who test this shit and make sure everything's perfect. There's people out there obviously they're going to do this, and
yeah,
then the enthusiast guys figured out that the 970s only come with about three and a half gigabytes, and then they have like it's basically like they cut the last gigabyte in half and they allocate like some of the power for like a reserve or something. But they've been coming up with like a bunch of problems, like video problems, where it would like totally shut down your computer and shit. Did you know about that?
no, like I said, I haven't been tracking the latest GPU hardware from the new
Yeah,
and build.
yeah, yeah.
Used to have people pay me to do that, and I kind of went away from that business because sometimes bad things happen at builds.
Like what? That's kind of interesting to get into. Your what is what some of the bad things that have happened?
Um, well, similar to what you're saying with like the 970s not being what you expected,
Yeah.
like
Well,
ordering a bunch and
being
then
basically like essentially lied to.
and then having to be like, oh, customer, I was going to give you this computer today, except this hardware isn't what was prescribed, so now I have to return it and then get something else. And they're just like, whoa, this like, day is unacceptable. And you're just like, okay, well, you're a customer, you're right, but you're unreasonable as fuck. So let's see if we can get this fixed.
Yeah.
There's always everybody has such. My biggest issue in engineering is just everybody has realistic expectations, and that kind of goes back to the discussion I wanted to have is like non-technical managers, like the bane of tech. Like I worked in a military space for a very long time, and I always found that I could do something very well, but half of the time my products would be defective because non-technical managers promising things that just weren't realistic or timelines that weren't realistic, and then you just not being able to do something, but they're like, oh, you can work 26 hours today and then
Holy
7
shit.
hours tomorrow to get this done, and you're just like, there are not enough hours in this day for that. I guess I could try. And then you start getting jaded and you're just like, no, fuck that. Why did you tell him that?
Yeah.
But it's like these stupid things would happen, or they would pass you projects that weren't working right, and they're like, "Oh, you could fix this tomorrow without making any changes, right? Because if we made changes, we would have to document that, and that'll cost money." And you're just like, I don't think that's technically possible, but like,
How can we change this without changing anything?
yeah, it's just like they have these really, and they're like, "Oh, and by the way, I told the customer you'd have this ready tomorrow," and you're just like, "Oh, well." let me here's a finger I'm showing you. Maybe you could sit and spin a little later. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Is that like a common thing where the managers of these tech industries are not really savvy?
yeah, they're just business people. And they get,
Oh shit. That sounds
large.
horrible.
Yeah, larger companies get extremely bureaucratic, and then you just have managers that are running everything, and the managers get like, they're allocated certain engineers, and they're just like, all right, we're gonna fix this. I don't know how you're going to fix it, but we will have it fixed, and we'll be here tomorrow, and it will work perfectly. You're just like, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna go home. You take care of that.
Let's see how far you get.
Yeah. Like I
Fucking
think
A.
what?
I said fucking A.
Yeah, it's a really odd thing.
Hmm. Yeah, because they're managing you, but they don't really understand what's going on. It's like, how does that work?
I mean, it doesn't, because I've been places where I did like rapid R&D, and I had like most brilliant managers, and I just explained things, and they're like, all right, you got this, do it that way. I'm like, oh, perfect.
Okay. So there's just these like off. Is it more common, or is it like you get more of the kind of the ignorant ones, and it's more uncommon to get like the really intelligent ones?
It's uncommon to get an intelligent one.
Okay.
Like it's rare. Like it's like if you find one, stay there forever.
I love you.
Yeah,
You make my life so easy.
yeah.
Yeah, I
And
understand.
they'll ask you like, okay, I need you to fix this. Write a report on why it needs to be fixed this way, and then present to me this report so I can complain that it's too hard to understand, and then I want you to reword it so that it makes sense to me, and then I can present it to the customer. And you're like, wait, but I need to fix it this way. Here's an explanation as to why. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. Plus, that involves a change. So you're going to have to do something else. And I'm just like, oh, God.
So is that like the main reason you left?
The company I was at, not to put it on blast, but yes, I had like an office space moment where I was like, fuck you and everything you stand for. I don't really care. I quit.
Was it just that, or is it like other things, or you can't just kind of
That's
just delve
literally
into?
just it. I cannot stand not being able to do my job.
Mm-hmm.
The place I was at before this was much better, but that
Getting
was
that
boring.
pay raise.
No, it wasn't even a pay raise, honestly. I get
Uh,
paid well no matter what, like in that space.
yeah.
It was just at the time I really didn't like my manager, and I let one of my ex-girlfriends really bias like how I felt about things, so I ended up jumping ship just to kind of like spite my manager. I regret it to this day.
Man. Jump the shark.
Yeah, right? But the thing is there's most of these tech companies, these large bureaucratic tech companies, they don't really do anything. There's every time a company goes public, what I tell an engineer is to just hit the ground running and go somewhere else. Don't
Yeah.
even think about staying because the second something hits IPO, the shareholders um, just restructure the company and nothing will get done ever.
Ugh.
There's nothing interesting. There's too
Hmm.
much involved, too much. Can't do that. That costs money. Can't do that. That costs money. And then you end up just deadlocked and reusing old products over and over and over again,
Hmm.
even if they're defective.
Hmm.
Like ethics literally go straight out the windows, even if it's like a mission or life critical system for the military. They don't care. They only care about money.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Sick, sick world.
it's a lot of money.
Money. The money is the most important thing in the whole universe.
It is your god.
It's like we created this system and it has some random value to it. Hopefully
You
it
just need
works.
to start trading in gold and silver.
Right. Once I give you these Oh, this is a good topic. The gold standard, like, because Ron Paul used to talk about that a lot. Like going back into the gold standard, so you wouldn't have this like inflation issues.
Yeah. Well, you would, but it would probably be deflation.
Hmm. Do you think
Everything
that would
would.
be a good? You think that'd be a good idea? Because Ron Paul used to talk about that all the time.
Uh, well, I'm kind of a weirdo. Personally, I like egalitarian society, and I think a bartering system is the best thing.
Well, it's like I guess applying like real value to things instead of like this um imaginary value, like the debt system and shit.
Yeah, I don't really like this whole debt system. You're basically enslaving an entire population just so that they can have things that they're told that they should want.
Hmm.
Um, I think everything should be based off the value that it is, the labor that it takes. Like, you know, you need a tractor for your farm or whatever.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you like X amount of goods. There's going to be like a real investment based on the work that you've done, not like Trump status, like, Daddy gave me this much money. I will be able to do this and this and this and this. Like,
Right.
it's really easy to succeed in real estate like Trump did if you have a
Hmm.
big wallet, right? Because you just buy a whole bunch of properties and then start leasing them out and blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
I mean, the key to being successful in real estate is just having a lot of money.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. There's a bunch of quotes out there. Thomas Jefferson kind of put it on blast too. Like they said, the bank, the banks are more dangerous than standing armies.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Like, you've seen, I mean, look at the price of housing and
Hmm.
how it's kind of carried all of the older generations as they've inflated the values of everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of left the younger generations fairly deadlocked, where like all the wealth has been shifted uh,
Hmm.
upward. It's I mean, you have parents that talk about how they got a house when they were like 23, 24. You know, it's like it's possible now, but you have to be definitely in the upper echelon of success in society
Right. It's a
to
lot
really.
easier back then.
Yeah, I mean, it was. And this whole debt system is why it is that way.
Yeah. Yep. People
Anyways,
not, I guess, working for what they want, not applying their skills. It's just like impulsive.
it's more than impulsive.
Huh?
It's more than impulsive. It's
Well,
planned out.
that's yeah. I mean, that's a factor in it though. Just like impulse buying shit. Like,
Well, I would say that's the lower rung of people caught in debt. Like, if you think about it, all the Americans that are in debt, like, yeah, there's the dumb spenders that have like no money and all of a sudden they spend 16 grand because they go on a shopping spree.
yeah,
But I mean, those people are always going to be in debt. I'm
yeah,
talking about fiscally responsible people that have no option but to go into debt just to like live a normal life, which is
yeah.
like nearly everybody.
It's like there's a safety net there, but there's a catch.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you can buy this house, but you're gonna be in debt to the banks for the rest of your life, and that's how it
Yeah,
is for your life.
I guess you kind of have to have like that mentality. Like, just how much money do I actually owe? You just it's as long as it's not in front of you all the time, then you don't think about it. It's not as bad.
Hmm. But putting your blinders on
Yeah, that's true.
only contributes to the issues in the system.
Hmm. Yeah. Um,
Like everybody's relying on the banks and just suckling on the teats of a mortgage, you know?
Yeah. And just what do they call it? The um, what is it, was that term called when you save the bank from destroying themselves?
The bailouts.
Yeah, we have that shit too.
Yeah. I think a bigger question is why were the banks bailed out instead of the people in debt?
Yeah, because there's no
Think of all of the foreclosures that went on in that time.
there's no benefit in doing it to the population, I guess.
Well, no, obvious.
Mm,
All of the people that affected the politics were in Wall Street. They weren't, you or I living in our houses. They just let everybody's houses fold under and go back to the banks, just accumulate more wealth for them.
yeah, it could be more like what was it, Iceland that put the banksters in jail?
Yeah, that was awesome. I wish
Yeah,
they did that everywhere.
right? That'd be crazy.
You know what's also that's crazy is the Fed.
Oh God, the Federal Reserve and shit.
Yeah, it's printing money.
Hey, we want to
It's
audit you.
printing money over
It's like,
here.
hey, we just want to audit you once. I don't think so.
Not today. Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe
No, not tomorrow either. Let's
can
just
we get?
never do that.
We're just not this person that's running for president. He's not working for us, so he's not going to become president.
Yeah,
We're gonna go with the guy that is just gonna be our puppet. That's gonna be better for us.
more interesting though. What would happen if they stopped printing money? That's what I want to know.
That's a good question. It's
Somebody has an
just,
answer to it. I just haven't read up on it too much.
oh man, imagine just putting him under audit and just like finding out all the kinds of shit that's like,
Just think about all the bricks of cash that they're just printing and then sending to just random, you know, subsidiaries.
it's like yeah, like
Because you know that's got to be happening. Like, here's
yeah,
$1 billion to this guy.
yeah, man, it's fucking holy shit, fucking Federal Reserve and those fucking Bernanke and all those fucking goblins of people,
Mm-hmm. The
fucking
Kobe's.
yeah, fucking inhumane fucking assholes. They're like Shrek Skrelly and just in a different area.
Just bigger
Yeah,
and better at hiding.
yeah. I fucking hate Bernanke. Like I've watched so many court like videos about him and like people putting him on blast and like putting him it's like an argumentative wall and he's just standing there like I don't care. It's like well fuck.
Yeah, I had a good time. I don't know about you guys. I mean, that's no remorse there. They don't care about people's retirements and stuff.
Yeah, it's
They're
fucking
just
terrible too. Like these people, we don't even have representatives anymore. We just have like empty like vessels.
Oh, speaking of which, I'm gonna delve into politics a little bit. How do you feel about Bernie Sanders?
Oh well, I mean, I haven't really followed too much. Like the only real like informative kind of stuff I got from Kyle. He was like telling me that he's been like just like revolutionary, and um, he's been like has the same stance for like 30 years. I don't know if his system is like plausible or not. Like if he wants to wherever he wants to put into play. Like you see all these like counter arguments was like where are you going to find the money to do this? It's like I don't know exactly
Well,
how to
personally, I don't want Bernie Sanders to be president. You know why? Because I don't want
what?
to pay taxes.
Oh, he's going to bump the taxes up.
Yeah, I don't. There's no
Oh,
way he's not, and I don't want to pay any more taxes. Taxes are already crippling.
mm-hmm.
Pay 40 to 50% right now. If you'd actually like add up everything I've been doing, it's like if half of my income is going to taxes,
Why is that necessary?
Yeah, that's a great question.
It's like, I mean, I understand why it's necessary for like all the programs to pay for them, but it's like, how much money do you need from me? Like, why? Where's my money
Especially
going?
most of the taxes, which are like the least amount of taxes that I'm paying, that go into the local infrastructure are from the state.
Mhm. And what is it?
All of this federal income tax, which is like 34%, 35% right now. Oh, and speaking of which, dividends went from 15% to 18%, which pissed me off, and that's another discussion. But um, that's just so much money. How are you supposed to like grow, generate more business if you're just like losing?
Well, did your phone die, Nick?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what happened?
I was literally talking that entire time.
Oh,
No,
your phone cut out.
I'm where did I cut out?
You're talking about um dividends and um
No, but if you're paying like that much in taxes, there's no room to grow. There's no room to do anything. There's no incentive. Like I would
mhm,
rather go to another country and try something. Like it's just not worth it.
yeah. There's like a because Bernie is more has the socialist type of programs.
Yeah,
Um,
which I don't know if I would put that under liberty.
no. What happened to
Yeah,
Rand Paul? Did you ever follow him?
not really. Honestly, I was thinking if I did vote this election, I would just write in Ron Paul. Who
Yeah.
am I going to vote for? Hillary, Trump, or Sanders? I'm not interested in any.
All right. It's bad pick, like really bad pick. It seems like it just gets worse and worse every year.
Like I would possibly vote for Trump just for the walls, but I couldn't vote for Hillary, which is to me like just I mean, she has no real stance. Let's just push that off the table.
It's
She
like she's so floppy. Like,
do whatever people ask her to do, basically,
yeah,
like paying the bills. Yeah,
she'd be the best puppet.
exactly, which is a terrible thing. Uh, Sanders just wants to help everybody, which is cool, but I don't. People need to help themselves. I don't care that much. That's just going to be more taxes and crush more small business.
More handouts.
And then Trump is some odd, I don't know, psychopath. I wouldn't even say a psychopath. He's just a crazy wild card, and he's just doing everything he can to just like be a crazy dick. He's kind of he's like a 2016 Adolf Hitler back in the 1930s.
He's a fucking authoritarian.
Yeah, well, everybody is. So is Hillary.
He's like the main one though. It's like I'm the most powerful. I'm gonna throw all the Republicans under the bus because fuck them. I'm the most powerful.
Well, I would kind of enjoy that because I think he would manhandle Senate and House.
Hmm.
Like,
Well, it's like he's not. He doesn't have like investors. He has his own money, so he has nobody to answer to.
I heard a pretty good argument. Uh, Apparently, his tax plan is like single people that make under like 75 grand don't pay taxes, and like families under 125 grand don't pay taxes.
Uh huh.
That would be awesome because that would be like pretty much nobody pays taxes but rich people and mildly wealthy people.
Right.
Uh, but all of the crazy shit that he says, I would really hate for to see somebody like that come into power and just like abuse people
Hmm.
and further eliminate rights. Have some kind of weird crystal knot.
right? It would just be the Muslims this time.
By the way, I think we've digressed a lot. My phone's about to die, so I think we should wrap this one up.
Um, yeah, kind of swerved away from the initial topics, but we still got some, still got some pretty good stuff out there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. As long as you get your mind,
Let's get to what?
get your mind at ease. Get that shit out of there.
Yeah. Well, this one wasn't. This one
Okay.
wasn't. It wasn't too personal this time. So
But still stuff floating around in there. Just
yeah,
gotta chuck it out.
there's always stuff floating around.
Yeah, right. True all of it.
The ether of the mind.
Yeah. I
All right,
believe
dude.
that's
Well,
anxiety.
what? What?
I believe that's anxiety.
Mm, Unfortunately,
Um,
paranoia coupled with anxiety. It's the best feeling.
delicious.
Eats you alive.
All right, dude. Well, you have a good night. We'll talk
You
soon.
too, man. Yeah. Thanks for talking. Have a good one.
Yeah, dude.
Bye.
Bye.